What if BAXCALIBUR was in Gen 1 OU? Now, I was originally going to do Miraidon for today's video, but I was randomly just eating some food when I thought to myself, BAXCALIBUR's typing a Dragon Ice is actually really good in Gen 1 defensively, which is weird to think about because Ice isn't really known for being a good defensive type, but for Gen 1, where Blizzards are everywhere, and with your Dragon typing, because Thunderbolts are everywhere, and with Surfs from Swellbro and Starmie being, pretty popular. Yeah, Dragon Ice is actually really good, which is weird to think about, but that's pretty cool. Just in general, I've been having a bit of a BAXCALIBUR phase. It's kind of weird. I've been playing a lot of National Dex Monotype Dragon, and I've been winning a lot of games with him. It's been pretty cool. But just because I like him does not mean that he'd be good and competitive. That again, he's a pseudo-legendary with a good typing. And you can already, guarantee he probably has a good move pool. But let's just go over it anyways, like we don't know if he's going to be good or not. Now, one thing I want to start off with is that this guy's worst stat is his special attack of 75. His worst stat is better than Tauros' special. And unlike Tauros, this guy has a Stab Wizard. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The BAXCALIBUR is going to be good. Really good. But how good are we actually talking here? Let's find out, shall we? Now, he pretty much has everything you could possibly want. He has Blizzard, he has Body Slam, Earthquake. I thought about giving him a signature move, and I don't think it would be overpowered in Gen 1. The only reason you would have it would just be to, use against any BAXCALIBUR and Dragonites. Although, at the end of the day, I thought to myself, it's not really needed, or no, it's necessary. Having it would just mean that it's just the easy way of taking out BAXCALIBUR, instead of having to, find a way to, get around it. Instead, you would just use your own BAXCALIBUR, and then it just becomes a speed tie. And there's a 50-50, see who wins, which doesn't sound healthy at all. That only doesn't sound scummy, but I feel like it would be a huge noob bait. So a lot of new players would just only go for that, instead of actually realizing that, there's plenty of other ways to take down BAXCALIBUR. So yeah, no signature move this time. But you have Ice Beam, Rest. Honestly, with how good his typing is, I actually do think you can get away with Rest. It might be needed in some cases too. And Sword Stance, oh my gosh. We have yet another Pokemon who will, overnight, become the best Sword Stance user in OU. And yeah, he's really good with it. You're not always going to use it. Honestly, you're probably are going to, want to spam Blizzards more than anything. But it's good. Especially against, let's say you're going against, certain Snorlax sets, Cloyster, or Chansey. You just get a chance to, get up with Sword Stance, and there's pretty much nothing in the game that can really, survive against you. And you also have Hyper Beam. No one's surprised there. I don't remember if Thunder Fang existed in Gen 1 OU, or just in Generation 1. I don't think it did, but that's a shame. It could have technically had Volt Beam coverage. But yeah, I think a good moveset would be Sword Stance, a Blizzard, Earthquake, and Hyper Beam. This pretty much gives him everything you ever need. A strong stab move. You have Earthquake, good for consistent physical damage with your 145 attack. And it's also good just for being able to hit Gengar. And then you have Hyper Beam, which with a Sword Stance, it pretty much just nukes everything. And Hyper Beam is really good for getting those KOs and stuff that normally could survive at a damage range. For example, you get a Sword Stance up, use it on an Alakazam. I think it's mostly a one shot, but you can have the Alakazam at 1 HP. Which, yeah, that could end up by killing you. But a Hyper Beam just has that extra power where it will be a guaranteed KO. Same thing with Chansey or some other Pokemon. Which, it's really appreciative. Although if you want to replace Hyper Beam for Body Slam, I completely understand. Or replacing with Rest, I can also see that. There's no bad options here. Because BAXCALIBUR is pretty great. And he does great against a lot of the other Pokemon too. Now against Tauros, there's a lot of things that can go wrong for both sides. Blizzard is a 3-hit KO, which is pretty nice. And there's always a chance to freeze, which you also enjoy. But not only can Blizzard miss, Body Slam can crit, they can paralyze you, or just some other stuff. So it could go either way. But I'm assuming that most of the time Tauros is going to win. Although, there's definitely worse matchups. If you can like wear down Tauros, that's pretty good. And if you freeze it, that's even better. And then the Snorlax set doesn't matter too much. Paralysis is annoying, but I think BAXCALIBUR actually kind of wants to be paralyzed, sort of like Chansey. Because once it's like paralyzed, for Pokemon like Gengar and Exeggutor, there's like nothing they can do anymore. They cannot put BAXCALIBUR to sleep, so it becomes a free win. Meanwhile, physical Snorlax doesn't do much. Like Amnesia Lax can't reset up in time. Even Reflect Lax loses to like Sword Stance. So yeah, it doesn't matter the set. Snorlax can put a lot of damage in, but BAXCALIBUR will be able to take it on. Most Sword Stance Pokemon that are tanky can take on Snorlax. And then Earthquake is like a 3-hit KO, which would be nice, but chance of recovery. But that's exactly why you have Sword Stance. Though granted, paralysis is definitely annoying, especially if you get paralyzed 3 times in a row, which sometimes it happens when you're making these replays and it's annoying. But on the bright side, Hyper Beam is just a guaranteed just 1-hit KO. So in this case, it probably wasn't worth it because you're like paralyzed and you're at red HP. But in the future, like, it's nice, especially if the Chansey is already paralyzed itself. It can be a very easy win for you. I'm not sure if Alakazam would paralyze. I think it probably would. That way it can like try to stall with like recover. But Sword Stance, even Earthquake with a Sword Stance has a chance of 1-hit KOing the Alakazam. But it also like sometimes won't. And considering Psychic can 3-hit KO you, you probably just want to go with Hyper Beam instead. Even if they go into like, let's say, Gengar or Rhydon, it's not the worst thing in the world. Or with Rhydon, if they get a crit with Rock Slide, you're kind of screwed. But those chances are really low. And then as soon as you're able to move again, you just like threaten the KO with Blizzard. I think it's Cloyster. Cloyster truly has nothing it can really hurt you with other than Explosion. And like, yeah, Explosion's good, but you're also still losing a Pokemon. And given how high BAXCALIBUR's, his like HP is at like 115, I wouldn't be surprised if he survives Explosion too. Like, he probably does. But yeah, Cloyster just can't hurt the BAXCALIBUR. And BAXCALIBUR just needs like 1 Sword Stance and those like 2 moves, and then Cloyster's kind of down. Which is kind of insane given how high his, his base defense is. Meanwhile, against Eggy, Blizzard is a clean 2-hit KO. And if Exeggutor misses that Sweet Powder, it is dead. So, is Eggy going to risk it? I do not know. I do not know if it's worth risking or not. There's a lot of evidence to say it wouldn't, because a crit kills you. You can get frozen. Also, just the chance of you, just like missing it. So Eggy's probably too valuable to really trying to risk it there. And that's not even going over if BAXCALIBUR is paralyzed. If it's paralyzed, or God forbid, if it's somehow burned or poisoned, yeah, Eggy is just a free matchup. You might be able to get like a Psychic off, but that's about all you really can do. Gengar, on the other hand, it's faster, so maybe it's worth it. Psychic is like I don't even know. I guess with like special drops and crits, it's like much more than just like a 4-hit KO. But yeah, assuming it has like Psychic in the first place. Earthquake does like most of your damage. Although I feel like BAXCALIBUR is one of the Pokemon where it's like it actually could be worth the risk. Although a crit would kill you, and you lose most of your health. So I don't know, it could go either way. It just depends on like if you want to risk it or not. And then against Jinx, is it sad to say this matchup's unwinnable? Jinx is just faster. It 3-shots you with Blizzard. You can't get a Sword Stance up. And like, I'm pretty sure Hyper Beam wouldn't actually kill without a boost. Sad. But at least there's always one Ice type that can, like, you know, take on BAXCALIBUR since Cloyster can't. And then against Rhydon, this surprised me. Blizzard isn't a one-shot. But holy crap, a critical hit is almost a one-shot on BAXCALIBUR. He definitely did not, like, he was definitely sweating bullets after that happened. Oof. Yeah, I'm not sure how the Blizzard is no one-shot, but good on Rhydon. I guess it does kind of show that 75 still isn't like the greatest thing in the world. And then with Slowbro, you can't really set up amnesias on BAXCALIBUR, because not only does it have Sword Stance to seriously threaten you, but it resists Surf. So you're gonna need like, yeah, you need, even at plus or times 3, you still can only 3-hit KO it. I'm imagining a 4-hit KO is like either still a 3-hit KO or more likely it's a 2-hit KO. But at that point, there's no way BAXCALIBUR didn't get like a few Sword Stance up. Good chance even a single Sword Stance with Hyper Beam is just and it's like really likely to kill you. And then get Starmie. Psychic might be the best move against BAXCALIBUR. Although, you know, Blizzard's not a bad option. Thunderbolt and Surf are. So BAXCALIBUR probably will get a chance to set up a Sword Stance. And when that happens, Hyper Beam, I'm assuming is a KO. Either that or it puts Starmie in red. So yeah, it's a pretty good matchup. Like, Starmie can definitely win it in some circumstances. But other times, yeah, BAXCALIBUR is probably going to take it more times than not. And last but not least, we got Zapdos. Because I didn't bother with Jolteon. Double Kick might do damage, but Earthquake will definitely hurt it more. Meanwhile, Blizzard is a 2-hit KO on Zapdos. No one's surprised by that. And no one's surprised Tropic doesn't do much either. So, and also because of, you know, BAXCALIBUR's like dragon typing, it can switch in on Zapdos too, and doesn't immediately threaten it. So good on him. And here is the list. Just gotta wait a little bit. Yeah, I did Dragon Ball a few days ago, and I always assumed when I did like the pseudo legendaries, Dragon Ball would end up being the best one. But I was dead wrong. Not that Dragon Ball was bad, but BAXCALIBUR is quite frankly just amazing. Like, the only truly bad matchup... Wait, why did I put Executor in bad matchups? Okay, that's weird. He's like... good or great? I'm gonna go with... yeah, I'm gonna go with great. Because... or no, good. Because Sleep is still pretty powerful. I don't think anything is like a bad matchup. But I do think Jinx is kind of unwinnable. But that's like a very small price to pay. Because like, it can like... do really good against almost everything, and it, for the most part, can like handle everything defensively too. The only thing that it really scares is like, I guess with Rhydon not being a guaranteed KO, it does kind of fear Rock Slide. Meanwhile, you know, Tauros is always gonna be the second threat on it. Same with like Alakazam. But other than that, BAXCALIBUR is pretty good. Sorry, Dragapult, but I think there's no doubt about it that BAXCALIBUR is probably the best pseudo-legendary that could exist in Gen 1. It's definitely the best one I've gone over so far. The only Pokemon that's a pseudo-legendary that I think would have a chance of destroying BAXCALIBUR would be Metagross. And even then, I actually don't think it would. I think it would suffer from a lot of the same problems as Salamence. Although with Agility, Step Psychic, and Explosion, it would be better. But I don't think it would be better than Sword Stance and Stab Blizzard from BAXCALIBUR. But what do you think? Do you think there'd be a legendary better, or, sorry, pseudo-legendary better than BAXCALIBUR? Or do you think that there's nothing that can truly top it? What other videos would you like to see? I saw some people saying they're interested in seeing, like, maybe, like, Kyurem or Keldeo. And I'll definitely do those eventually. Not to mention, I also got suggested some water dragon types, like Walking Wake or Palkia. There's a lot of options. And it's pretty cool that, like, in Generation 1, the Ice type is, like, significantly better than any other like, generation. So I look forward to making more videos. Thank you all for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.